Ace. King. That's bad.
Full house. Looks like you're gonna lose your shirt, kid.
Good luck, kid.
Jack. Ace.
The kid's got it.
All he needs is an easy 10 for a royal flush.
Looks like the kid hasn't got it after all.
Skittle poker from Aurora. Sometimes you win.
And sometimes you lose your shirt. Nice shot.
I've made better. Want to play?
I came to play Wisconsin skinny.
That's me. You a hustler?
Nope, salesman.
Break.
Salesman, huh? What do you sell? Skittleful. Skittleful by Aurora. It's a lot of fun.
Well, that happens every so often, particularly when you make as many changes as the Cardinals have been forced to this year. They did not have the right people in the right places. But this will be Bakken's attempt from 49 yards away. Good. And it's good. Jim Bakken from 49 yards out.
Just as we were saying, Jeffrey, he can kick him from 50, but he can't from 27.
Jim Bakken puts the Cardinals on the scoreboard. Take a lighthearted look at current events as seen from Humus, Mort Sauls, Dan Freeberg, and Bob and Ray's irreverent eyes on Comedy News and ABC Late Night Comedy Special. And that's tomorrow night at 11:30, 10:30 Central Time, and of course right here on ABC.
Well, as we await the kickoff, Gift, the Miami fans are strangely quiescent because their team seems to
Wait a minute.
slumbering
No,
tonight.
they're just quiet. They're not making much noise.
All right, we'll put it that way, Dan DeRue.
Thank you.
In any event, this is going to be Don's problem, Shula's problem, to keep this team up and alive and going. A supposedly weak St. Louis team giving them, at this point, a good game of it at 7-3.
And we have 7:59 remaining in the half. Jim Bakken kicks. Charlie Lee, in and out of the hands, touchback. And so far, the Cardinals, even though Miami has had most of the possession time, the Cardinals have battled the Miami Dolphins to that 7-3. And this Cardinal team is a good football team. They have a lot of speed. They have just been besieged with injuries. They're catching a lot of trouble at home. People have started shuffle the card fan clubs.
Stick an ad out in the paper.
That really helps the football team.
Gives you a lot of support.
Really. First and 10 from the 20. Both backs coming out of the backfield. This is Briscoe. Nailed there by Larry Stalling, 67.
Don, I don't have the stats before me, but hasn't Earl been throwing a lot tonight? Remember, Miami has the leading ground game in the National Football League. They've been averaging over 200 yards a game on the ground, and it seems to me Earl's been throwing a lot against this club.
I think you're right. He's thrown 8 times. That's not an awful lot for one quarter, but it appears that he is. Yeah, that Briscoe's been a fine addition to this ball club, too, Howard. I'd like to hear you get into that one in a little while.
On second down and 2, and big hole. There he is. Jim kick.
Look at old Sundance go.
Cut his hair. Cut his hair, John. Looked at Morris, said his is short. He's got the starting role.
Hey, look at it. Had a good blocks up there by that front four we've been talking about. Look at that effort on Kick's part to gain an extra yard. Keep that balance, put one hand down, kept going. Got another good block by Zonka there in the middle, too. These guys work very well together.
First down, the ball at the 37-yard line. 6 minutes, 43 seconds remain in the half. And kick again. This time, Larry Stallings holds on to trip kick up just at the line of scrimmage. This program is being brought to you as an ABC Sports exclusive. Right now, let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. The Miami Dolphins making a couple of changes. Jim Mandich has come in at tight end, 88. In at offensive left tackle, number 79, is Wayne Moore, as Doug Cruzan has gone to the bench. It's second down and 9. Kick with about a yard gain. The screen goes to Briscoe, and he can throw it also. That's 3 for 3 for him.
That's a pretty play. I like that. That's fun.
You're right about Briscoe being able to throw. He played quarterback, as most of you know, in the American Football League.
And Otto Stowe is the receiver with a 26-yard gain.
There's a lateral out to Briscoe. He sets the throw, and you can tell he's done it before. Otto Stowe's there. That was not two forward passes, as you possibly noticed that the ball from Earl Morrill to Briscoe was thrown laterally, so that would be termed as a lateral than the other forward pass. There's only one forward pass per play.
Miami out in front, 7-3. Clock shows 5:48. Zonka gets the draw call, and he just bulls his way for about a yard and a half. Dolphins, of course, got out in front on a 2-yard touchdown run by Jim Kick. They've dominated the game, at least in terms of time of possession. And then the Cardinals came back to make it 7-3, a 49-yard field goal by Jim Bakken. And that's our story with 5:24, clock moving, remaining in the half.
Sandy, you said talk about Briscoe. You just saw part of his value. That, incidentally, is the third pass he's thrown this year, all complete.
Earl Morrill, who filled in 68, as most football fans most certainly will recall, took Don Shula's Baltimore Colts to the Super Bowl. Here, he's trying it again for Miami. It's in and out of the hands of Otto Stowe. Spider-Man, drafted number 1 in 1956 by the 49ers. He played at Pittsburgh. He was at Detroit. He was with the Giants. He was with Baltimore. And this is his 5th club.
Best backup quarterback in football. He can do it.
This young man shows a lot of promise, Howard. Otto Stowe.
He does. You measure a team not just... You build a team with your front four on defense and the quarterback who can do the job on offense. But then you lose the great young quarterback, Greasy. You lose Warfield. When you've got Stowe and Twilley and Briscoe, that shows the depth you need to win a championship.
And they're all three in now on 3rd down and 7. Marv Fleming, the tight end, coming out on the sure pass. Oh, and Larry Wilson. Oh, wait a minute. Flag goes down. Mark Arneson and Larry Wilson, I believe, both made contact. Pushing, pass interference, 1st down, Miami. Four minutes, 54 seconds. Ball marked now at the 27-yard line. Cardinal secondary, Thompson 43, Worley 22, Wilson 8, Miller Farr 20. Both wide receivers now go out to the right for Miami. Morrow falls down on the play fake, and he's immediately buried there. Richardson, 71, was there, along with 75, Bob Rowe, and
Well, it happens. All you can say is just really is embarrassing. It looked like, let's see, it looked like he trips over somebody's foot. Possibly his own. Yep. I say, oh, well, that
nobody's
ever happened
perfect.
to you, John? Right. Yeah, it happened to me way too often, but you can see he's faking his knocker. He comes back, trips over his own feet, falls down, and usually you have a hard time getting up. For some reason, you try to get up in a hurry, and you just can't do it. You know, after 17 years, you're going to trip and stumble every now and then.
all right, it'll be 2nd down now and 18. The receivers are Briscoe. He goes to the right, Stowe's out to the left. The tight end, Mandich, is in now, the 3rd-year man out of Michigan, replacing Marv Fleming. In there. Briscoe. Marlon Briscoe. He's got the 1st down. He's inside the 15.
I was talking about a while ago, this guy does have a lot of speed, too. And when they picked him up, that was one of the reasons he can't move. He's just going down, and he's working on Miller Farr, number 20. Comes through on the inside. That's a well-thrown football, by the way. Right in the seams. That's Stallings, number 67. But look at him when he gets it. He's got his eye moving for that defensive back.
Howard, not to put you on the spot, but how did he get here? Number 86, he led the AFC in 1970 at Buffalo.
You figure it out.
Played out his option, didn't he? Up in,
No, he didn't. He was traded. It was another of Shula's great deals.
And he gives the Dolphins a 1st and 10 at the 13.
As a matter of fact, yesterday, Frank and I asked Nick Bonacani what happened with Briscoe. We thought Shula got him down here to play ahead of Twilley because he's faster than Howard. And Nick said, you wouldn't believe Twilley. He's done everything. He's even running fly patterns. He's having an incredible year, and he just beat Marlin out. But what a guy to have on the bench in Briscoe. It's the very depth that we were just talking about,
And
including having a Morrow behind Greasy.
He goes out to the right, Stowe out to the left, second down and 8. The ball marked right at the 10-yard line. Oh, the blitz is on, and zeroing in on Earl Morrow is Roger Worley and Mark Arneson, the full blitz for the Cardinals. Worley is the free safety. That is Worley. You see number 78 in there first. And a whole bunch of them get around him. I have to give a lot of them credit for that one. You've been under those a few times, Don. It really gets noisy, doesn't it?
By the way, you know what Briscoe's comment was when he was traded to Miami? Sandy said, "I've always wanted to be on Monday Night Football."
All right, third down now and 15. The ball marked at the 13. Briscoe out to the right, Stowe out to the left. Going deep for Briscoe, and this time covering Briscoe well was number 20, Miller Farr, brother of Mel Farr. Fine brother act in the National Football League.
Interesting the way Shula uses Mandich in these situations, Frank, because obviously Shula considers him a better receiver than Fleming, who's known for his blocking, but has not been known in recent years for his receiving.
So Garo Yepremian comes on, and this man has not missed all of last year from inside the 30, nor has he this year. 14 of 24 overall, 15 of 25. You can almost say it's automatic when it's inside the 30 for Garo Yepremian. As the Dolphins extend their lead over the Cardinals to 10-3.
All right, this one has turned out to be a real good game. That's the way it usually is on Monday Night Football. Next week, we've got a terribly critical game for both teams. The San Francisco 49ers, in the wake of their stunning upset of the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day, now leading in the Western Division of the NFC, against the Los Angeles Rams, who've suddenly become perhaps the most disappointing team in the National Football Conference, being upset by New Orleans yesterday, and within the last 3 weeks having lost to 2 overwhelming underdogs, New Orleans and Denver. So it's a must-win game for the Rams. And, of course, Atlanta is right in there, too. A big one next Monday night.
Underway. This will go to Mel Gray in the end zone. And keep in mind, this man has run... Oh, and the fake reverse this time by Mel Gray. Down he goes. Great defensive play there by number 51 of the Dolphins. All the way down there is Larry Ball. 18-yard return, and they've been using a lot of reverses on kickoffs this year. That time, the Cardinals tried to fake it. It didn't fool anyone.
And Larry Ball is a big, good-looking rookie from Louisville. He's 6'6", 225, and he can hit. Let's take a look at the time of possession, which I think tells an awful lot about Miami's dominance, but it's not the kind of dominance that you'd expect in the score. 20 minutes in effect to 8 minutes, more than double the time of possession, and yet it's a 10-3 ball game.
And there is the 2-minute warning. Gary Quazzo going over to discuss things with Bob Holloway, and we'll be back at the Orange Bowl of Miami right after this message.
Every Ford Pinto that we build has to live up to the good Ford cars of yesteryear, even the ones driven by bad people like Clyde Barrow, the bank robber. His actual letter is still in the Ford files. I have drove Fords exclusively, it says, when I could get away with one. For freedom from trouble, Ford has every other car skinned. Well, we think today's Ford Pinto has a lot of other cars skinned, too. Watch our friend the fire chief and his 3-door Pinto runabout. It has a solid 4-speed transmission, a rugged engine improved and developed in over 10 years of actual driving. It has rack and pinion steering, a sturdy body of welded steel. The basic, durable Ford Pinto gets you where you have to be, even if you didn't have to be there. When you get back to basics, you get back to Ford. Pinto at your Ford dealers.
Gary Quazzo comes back into the huddle. He's been talking with head coach Bob Holloway. Gary Quazzo, who once played for head coach Don Shula. In fact, he's been around. He played for Bud Grant up in Minnesota. And he had a very satisfying win this year over the Minnesota Vikings.
Also played for Tom Fears at New Orleans when Kilmer beat him out of the job.
All right, he has his job cut out for him. The Dolphins leading the Cardinals 10-3. The ball resting at the 13-yard mark. 2 minutes left in the first half. Melgray complete at the 35. Little Melgray, can he fly? He's only 5'9", 170 pounds, as he's dropped in the arms of number 13, Jake Scott. And a couple of years ago, I think it was 1970, the Big 8 track meet, this little man won the 100, the 220, the long jump, and was second in the triple jump.
Outside of that, he wasn't in action.
Played in the band at halftime.
Took the tickets. Quazzo uses another timeout. Comes over to talk to Bob Hallway and Ed Hughes, a couple of former teammates of mine. That's Ed Hughes, the former head coach of the Houston Oilers. And across the field, the strategy continues. Hallway with Quazzo. You know, in 1958, Don and Howard, I got a call from a youngster at Ridgefield High School in Ridgefield, New Jersey. I'd hurt my knee playing, and the youngster wanted to know what I did to get back in 3 weeks. Well, I had to tell him about Doc Sweeney, of course, but that youngster was Gary Quazzo, who went to high school in Ridgefield.
He'd hurt his knee or something, hadn't he?
He'd hurt his knee and wanted to know maybe if we had a little secret.
Frank, I see Freddie Height come in, number 88, and Donnie Anderson go out. The coaches mentioned they might go into a double wing set with only one running back. Let's see if they use that particular set this time. Try to get as many receivers as they can out to flood the zones. Another thing you might notice in the 2-minute drill, you see Quazzo explaining the pass pattern there, is these receivers are told to run their patterns approximately 5 yards deeper than they ordinarily do because everybody's going to be dropping back defending against the pass.
You called it too, Don. It is the double wing. Moore, top of your screen, now coming in motion. And now Quazzo trips.
Well, now, if he tripped over his foot, it's going to be like father, like son there.
Quazzo tripping, pulling away from the center.
I think more for him, Frank, they're going to have to use that third timeout, or they're going to line up and have to go again. Let's see what they're going to do. They're not going to call timeout, I don't believe.
When the receivers get back, you'll see the official start the clock. There it is, 1:45 remaining in the half. And this time, they get it off quickly and in and out of the hands and almost picked off there by number 57, Mike Colin.
Now, that one wasn't even very well thrown for a dentist because it was about 3 or 4 yards behind him. They're obviously trying to get the ball to the outside so they can stop the clock.
Ed Colin is, they say, the hardest hitter on the team. He's a very religious fellow. Seems much too kindly to play football. He's out of Auburn University. But once on the field, Bonacani says he becomes unbelievable. They call him Captain Crunch, a nickname he dislikes heartily.
Sounds like a cereal. Third down and 16. Clock shows 1:39. The Cardinals trailing 10-3. The draw play now to Donnie Anderson. The Cardinals go back to their set offense. Out to the 35, mark it at the 36. Manny Fernandez made the stop, number 75.
Well, we're going to get a chance to see the Miami Dolphins 2-minute offense in effect here tonight. They have plenty of time to put some more points on the board.
Yeah, I had suspected if Quazzo had come up with another quick completion after the throw to Gray, we might see the famed Miami Dolphins 53 defense, where Bob Matheson, number 53, comes in. And we've just had a word asking us who called timeout.
Miami, obviously, wanting to get possession
Had to do
of
it.
the football.
St. Louis is out.
They have both now used 2 timeouts. 1:27 on the clock, and dropping deep is Jake Scott, number 13, and Dick Anderson, number 40. 40 up close is Anderson, deep is Scott. Anderson, the left-footed kicker, and he can get it up there. Scott risking it at the 15. Fumble. The Cardinals have the ball. Well, he could not have advanced had not Scott had possession, but he did have possession. He fumbled the ball and is marked at the 8-yard line. 1 minute and 11-second show on the clock.
Monday Night Football. It only happened here, Don.
Let's see what happens to him, because here's Scott. There's a tackle right there, number 31. He's just been activated. I don't know who that is.
That's Chuck Beatty.
Beatty again. Yeah, Beatty's around a lot. He's found that ball tonight.
He wants to play. All right. Bobby Moore goes out to the left. Out to the right comes Mel Gray. First and goal for the Cardinals. They're at the 8-yard line. Donnie Anderson fumbles, and this time it's picked off by Stanfield.
I tell you. Well, not going to really turn it around right there. If they could have brought that one in there, we could have been in a big upset. Let's see. I didn't see Donnie get hit. He's got the ball. He never did get a good exchange from Quazzo. Looked like he reached for it a little bit. That's Stanfield, number 84, who picks it up. He can advance it. And he almost fumbled. Should have lateral.
He was thinking about it, and that may be why he almost fumbled. But what a succession or even comedy of errors.
Clock moving. St. Louis now with 3 turnovers. Miami with 1. They have the lead, though. This is Zonka. He doesn't fumble. He didn't fumble at all last year until that critical point in the Super Bowl. Zonka picks up the first down. He moves out to the 27-yard line, and Miami uses a timeout. A lot of confidence in their offense as Earl Morrall moves over to talk to head coach Don Shula. There are the turnovers we mentioned. ABC Sports has an outstanding array of postseason football coming your way. On Monday night, December the 18th, it's the Liberty Bowl, Iowa State versus Georgia Tech from Memphis, Tennessee. Then on Christmas Day, the North-South game from right here in the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, followed by the Gator Bowl with Colorado meeting Auburn from Jacksonville, Florida on December the 30th. On New Year's Eve, it's the Sugar Bowl featuring Penn State and Oklahoma from New Orleans at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on January the 6th, the Hula Bowl. An exciting lineup of postseason football right here on ABC.
That's right, Chris.
You stop that now.
Yes, we've been through that.
I was just sitting here thinking, what do you think that Don Shula could tell Earl Morrall that he hasn't told him over the past few years that he's been together? Go over here.
Earl,
Huh?
only thing he could tell him is, Earl, forget January 12, 1969.
Oh. He has to keep reminding him of that.
Probably told him to be careful.
Be careful.
How do you be careful, huh, Don?
You don't trip on your own feet.
This is kick. And kick over the 30 to about the 31-yard line. Working on the clock now. And quickly they line up.
Why do you think they haven't been using Morris that much tonight, Don?
I don't really know. Oh, that was in there.
Briscoe holds on.
And man, what a lick.
Oh, he took a shot.
Roger Worley may be down on that one because he took a heck of a lick from Briscoe. The ball was well thrown. The referee is going to call timeout. There's an injured player. Let's take a look at it. Marlon Briscoe, that ball is right in there. And look at Roger Worley, number 22. He's down. When the referee calls timeout for an injured player, that player has to leave the game for at least one play. It is not a charge timeout.
Now, 57, Mark Arneson, the rookie middle linebacker, was in on that play. So let's finish that story from the first quarter, Dandy. It's Don Shinnick's notion that if a middle linebacker makes 6 tackles unassisted and 6 assists in a ball game, he's done his job reasonably well. If he gets up to 8 in each department, he's been outstanding. And Shinnick says, I know this kid has greatness within him because against the Dallas Cowboys, the reigning champions, as you look at him, number 57, he had 10 individual tackles and 11 assists. He said, this kid is for real.
He is a good one, and I'm not trying to dispute that at all. There's one thing, from a quarterback standpoint, it's like the guy's going to make a lot of tackles. It's going to be one you're running at a lot. And that's always true with any rookie. This guy happens to be, he can measure up to what they're throwing at him, but you find a rookie in that defense, you're going to test him. Let's see what he can do. Roger appears to be okay. You see him walking up there on the sideline. He really did take a good lick there.
Well, I kind of wondering where he was for a while, but he's all right. Replacing Worley in that secondary. With 13 seconds remaining in the half is number 31, Chuck Beatty, just activated tonight. He's been, as Don mentioned earlier, all over the field on the special teams. Also in there in the pass prevent defense is number 49 for the Cardinals, Dale Hackbart. And Mandich is in offensively for the Dolphins. First and 10 from the Dolphins, 48.
I'm telling you.
Briscoe again. Marlon Briscoe.
He's throwing that ball well, Frank. That ball was well timed. It appears that they're out of time.
The Dolphins had no more timeouts, Don.
That's right.
You saw the referee shake his head. The time has run out.
Now that's that receiver, Briscoe, if he could have at all, gotten out of bounds, that would have given them almost a sure field goal.
And that's the story at halftime. The undefeated Miami Dolphins out in front of the Cardinals 10-3. Great highlight action coming up when we return to the Orange Bowl.
You know, nothing brings back the memories of Christmas like the great songs of Christmas. Some of the greatest are here in Goodyear's newest album, Christmas Is. 14 Christmas classics by outstanding artists of our time. Barbara Streisand, The Carpenters, Frank Sinatra, Joe Stafford, The Hillside Singers, Judy Garland, Tony Bennett. How'd he get in there? Andy Williams, The Mills Brothers, Doris Day, Vicky Carr, Patty Page, and Julie Andrews.
Christmas is just $1.25 at your Goodyear service store and most Goodyear dealers.
But you want to hurry, because this is one memory that won't last forever.
Harry Belafonte joins Julie Andrews Wednesday night.
Well, they don't allow signs in the Orange Bowl, but there are those who would defy the edict, as you see before you, a greeting for the unholy triumvirate. And quickly, let's review the scoring that took place here in the first half at the Orange Bowl in the game between the unbeaten Miami Dolphins and the St. Louis Cardinals. The halftime score, Miami 10-3, and this is the way it happened. Jim Kick broke through on a 2-yard run that was really a lot more than that as you watch him in action again, because he powered his own way. Larry Zonka got a crunching block in there, but after that it was all Kick, and right into the midriff of the defender. Kick in for the score. You premium the extra point, 7-0 Miami. In the second quarter, Jim Bakken with a 49-yard field goal made it 7-3 Miami, and then you premium with a 25-yard field goal made it 10-3 Miami. Which leads us up to our halftime highlights. We would like to show for you Giant fans in New York some of that game. Time will not permit it, and it was a one-sided game with no immediate impact upon the standings. But our congratulations to the Giants for setting a scoring record for that club, 62-10 over the Philadelphia Eagles. For the rest, another surprising day in the National Football League. So to the highlights, as selected by our producers and NFL Films. The hopeful but worried face of San Francisco coach Dick Nolan. His 49ers must go on this Thanksgiving Day against the Dallas Cowboys in Texas Stadium. And this kind of defensive effort by Cedric Hartman as he sacks Craig Morton for a loss typified the play of San Francisco throughout the day. But the early foot was to Dallas. They're ahead 7-0. We're 6 minutes into the second quarter. And Craig Morton is dumped. You saw him fumble the ball. It's picked off by number 52, Skip Vanderbunt. He returns it 73 yards downfield for a touchdown. That tied it at 7-7. After this play, San Francisco dominated the game. In the fourth quarter, they were ahead 24-10. 9:30 elapsed. Morton desperate. Passing. Picked off again by Vanderbunt. And it's another San Francisco touchdown. Final score 31-10. 49ers over Dallas. And the 49ers meet the Rams next Monday night. Tommy Prothro, coach of the Rams, on the right. J.D. Roberts, coach of New Orleans, on the left. The game's supposed to be a breather for the Rams. They're now ahead 3-0. It's the third play of the second quarter. That's Archie Manning, the young man from Ole Miss. 5 yards on a keeper touchdown. It's no breather at all. The Saints lead 7-3. A seesaw game. Now we're in the third quarter. And the rookie from Texas, Jim Bertelsen, carrying for the Rams. In for a touchdown, and the Rams lead it at this point 13-10. Now we're late in the third quarter. And it's Archie Manning again, dropping back. A 23-yard pass to Bob Newell. And it's a touchdown for the Saints. They're ahead 16-13. That's a very worried Jack Snow. Worried and surprised, I'm sure. 6 seconds left in the game. It's 16-16. Happy fella trying a field goal for the Saints. 33 yards. Look at his reaction. It's good. And what an upset. 19-16, New Orleans over Los Angeles. The Rams must beat the 49ers to stay alive next Monday night. Brown is beautiful. That could only be whom you think it is. Number 43, Larry Brown. The Redskins are playing the Pack at home. We're midway in the second quarter, and that's Larry Brown as he acrobats his way in for a touchdown, a 2-yard run, and it's a 7-3 lead for Washington. We've got about 2 minutes left in the half. Little more than that. That's Charlie Haraway. They call him a third guard. He's a running back, but what a blocker. This time he moves for 24 yards and sets this play up late in the half. It's Billy Kilman, number 17. To the tight end, Jerry Smith. What a money player he is. Touchdown, 14-3 Redskins. Moving ahead to the third quarter, Jerry Taggy, number 17, is in. The young man who grew up in Green Bay, but went to the University of Nebraska. What a pitch to Dave Davis. As you saw, he had touchdown written all over that throw, but Davis couldn't handle it. Now in the fourth quarter, on the very third play, the score 14-6 Washington. Taggy throwing 15 yards downfield. This time, Davis plays Potsy with it, but holds on to it, and it's a 15-yard gain for the Pack. That sets up the very next play. Taggy handing off to MacArthur Lane. He busts through. Touchdown. Forget the fumble. The ball was dead. Touchdown. 14-13 the Redskins at this point. This Redskin team, as you know, is an opportunistic team that capitalizes on scoring opportunities. Billy Kilmer to Charlie Tell. Touchdown. Washington goes on to win a very big one from the Pack, 21-16.
What does Major Appliance Customer Care Service Everywhere mean? It means GE factory service centers in over 100 big towns.
And 5,000 independents like me in smaller towns.
Means you can call for an appointment instead of hanging around all day.
And when I get there, 9 times out of 10, I got the part to fix it.
So the next time you're thinking about buying a new appliance,
remember who takes care of your old ones.
America's #1 major appliance value, General Electric.
Hello, I'm Cricket, the new disposable butane lighter by Gillette. Oh, I'm good for thousands of lights, so I last for months. Cricket by Gillette. Try me.
Harry, make sure you get a close shave and don't cut yourself. You gotta look good for the wedding pictures.
Don't worry, this is a track too. 2 blades, but recessed so they're safe.
Then how are you gonna shave close?
When the first blade shaves a whisker, it lifts it out from the face. And before it all snaps back, the second blade can shave it again, closer. Don't ask if I can shave twice with my 1-blade razor.
Couldn't you just shave twice with your 1-blade razor?
The whisker snaps back too fast.
Harry, look at your daughter.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
The track 2, Gillette made it 1 blade better.
The band at Cleveland's Municipal Stadium strikes up a happy note. Cleveland doing surprisingly well this year, tied with Pittsburgh for first Central Division, AFC, but they're going against the Bills, and number 32, O.J. Simpson, moves in for an early touchdown. It's 7-0 Buffalo. What a year O.J. is having. He went over 1,000 yards on the season on this day. But this young man, Mike Fitz from Purdue, is really finding himself. Here he spots Leroy Kelly, and it's a touchdown that ties it up at 10-10 for the Browns against the Bills. This action came with 50 seconds left in the first half. Moving ahead to the fourth quarter, the Browns leading 17 to 10. The third play of the quarter. Leo Hart, the quarterback now for the Bills. The ball is deflected by Dale Lindsey, picked off by Nick Roman. He moves downfield for the first touchdown of his pro football career, and the Browns go on to defeat the Bills 27 to 10. I mentioned the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's their home, Three Rivers Stadium at the Great Confluence in a big game today against the Vikings, and this reflects the kind of problems the Vikings had on this day. Paul Krause trying to handle the ball on an attempted field goal, couldn't. Now watch this. Same attempted kind of play, but different result. Now Krause looking to pass out of the untenable situation, and an ineligible receiver downfield, so you could forget the whole thing. But Minnesota's a tough team to beat. They were ahead 3-0, and indeed some favored them in this game when Franco Harris, number 32, the rookie from Penn State, who so resembles Jimmy Brown, moved in for a touchdown to put the Steelers ahead 7-3. That was in the first quarter. Now, more action. The score still 7-3. A screen pass from Bradshaw to Ron Shanklin, the wide receiver. The net result, a 43-yard gain. That set up a Pittsburgh field goal to make it Steelers 10, the Vikes 3. And that score sustained until the fourth period, with 10 minutes remaining. Tarkenton coming back as he's done so often, looking for John Gilliam, who's become his favorite target with the Vikes. And it's another long gainer, Tarkenton to Gilliam. Not a touchdown bomb, not quite, as he stumbles behind that blocker and finally is gotten down from the rear, but it's a 63-yard gain, setting up this play. Tarkenton dropping back, looking left, then turning right, and hitting Stu Voigt for the touchdown that produced a 10-10 tie. Side, turn the corner on the outside. Show the amazing speed for the big man. Downfield. A 61-yard gain, which set up a Bradshaw 1-yard plunge for a touchdown. The extra point failed. It was 16-10 Pittsburgh. Now, a minute 30 left in the game. The pass goes from Bradshaw to Frank Lewis, the speedster from Grambling, and he moves down 17 yards for the touchdown that clinches it for the new powerhouse in the National Football League, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have a showdown game against Cleveland next week in their division.
And that was the action yesterday as 19 out of 26 teams continue to be alive for playoff hopes. Of course, the Miami Dolphins have clinched their Eastern Division of the American Football Conference, but they could be in a little bit of trouble tonight against the Cardinals. There is the halftime score. On ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the St. Louis Cardinals versus the Miami Dolphins, is being brought to you by Gillette, makers of foamy face saver with lubricating protection to help prevent shaving irritation, and by Ford and your Ford dealers. See all the better ideas for 73 at your Ford dealers. And we'll be ready for the second half kickoff between the Cardinals and the Dolphins after this word from our local stations.
It's 30 minutes of fun and laughs on Temperatures Rising tomorrow.
The halftime statistics, the two big items. Offensive plays, Miami has run off 40, St. Louis 19. Is reflected in the time of possession. 21-14 for Miami, 8:46 for St. Louis. And Miami, of course, got on the scoreboard first. Jim Kick going in from 2 yards out, and watch him follow number 39, Zonka, who takes on right linebacker, number 58. And that is Terry Miller. That was the last time Terry Miller played in the first half. Zonka just buried him, and then Kick carried Thompson right into the end zone. St. Louis came back with a 49-yard field goal by Bakken to make it 7-3, and then Garo Yepremian, who hasn't missed now in a year, and well, more than a year, from inside the 30, kicked a 25-yard field goal to make it 10-3 Miami. Cardinals will receive the Miami Dolphins continue to try to do what has never been done, go through an undefeated season, through the playoffs, into a championship. And this is Garo Yepremian dropping deep, number 28. Bobby Moore, the rookie from Oregon, great athlete on your left, and number 85, the speedster from Missouri in his second year, Mel Gray. We've been told that Terry Miller has nothing seriously wrong with him, but he did not come back after being hit by Zonka. This is Mel Gray. Mel Gray tripped up, crossed just over the 20 to about the 22. Curtis Johnson, the cornerback, was down there to make the stop. Offensively, the Cardinals return as they left. Gary Quazzo at quarterback, number 15, the setbacks. Anderson, 44, Rowland, 23. The tight end is Big Jackie Smith, 81, bottom of your screen. Walker Gillette, 84, one wide receiver. Now Gillette is out. Mel Gray stays in, number 85. And the Cardinals, with their first time of possession in the second half, move from their own 22. Anderson on a play fake. Looking for the screen. This is Jackie Smith, the tight end. And Smith moves over the 35 to the 37-yard line. Stopped by Dick Anderson, number 40. Anderson, one safety, along with Jake Scott, number 13. The cornerbacks for Miami, 25, Foley. 45, Curtis Johnson. The linebackers, Bonacani in the middle, 85. Doug Swift, 59. And Mike Colon, 57, the outside linebackers. And Bob Matheson works in and out. And a three-man defensive front four, and that's what we have now, the Miami's 5-3.
That's the 53 defense we talked about, Frank, with Matheson in there.
On first and 10 from the 37. And scrambling is Donnie Anderson, met by Bob Matheson. Originally started his play at Cleveland. Came to Miami last year and has done a fine job in their, particularly in their pass defense.
Interesting little side note, Gift. Remember our Baltimore-Minnesota game last year? The quarterbacks were, for Baltimore, Morrow. For Minnesota, Quazzo. Here they are against each other with different teams.
That is interesting. That's Bob Holloway looking on in his second year as head coach of the Cardinals. Gain of 2 by Anderson. It'll be second down and 8. Moving now from the 39 of the Cardinals. Trailing 10-3. We're just underway in the second half. Out to Johnny Rowland. I believe it was deflected. All right, the front three for the Miami Dolphins. Bill Stanfield, 84. Manny Fernandez, 75. Vern Danaherder, number 83. That's big number 83 on the left. And number 57 is Mike Colon. Those are the conversions. The Cardinals have yet to make one. And the Dolphins have made 50% of theirs. Cardinals yet to come up with a first down on a third down. They have now 3rd and 8 from their own 39. Mel Gray goes to the right. Moore is out to the left. The tight end, Jackie Smith, the other receiver, bottom of the screen. Oh, thrown way behind Mel Gray, and well, Quazzo was very fortunate that was not picked off.
He was, and that's some defense that they throw up in a situation like this. Bonacani went out, Mumford came in, gave him 5 defensive backs as we look at Mel Gray in the replay.
Well, that's Anderson there first. You see that Gray's going to the inside. The ball is thrown closer. That's Swift there, I believe. He had a shot at it. Anderson almost had a shot because I believe it was slightly deflected.
And here's Donnie Anderson. Came from Green Bay, of course, that trade from MacArthur Lane. Left-footed punter, having a good night. Came into the game as we look at Jake Scott, number 13. Anderson came in, averaging a little over 41 yards. He gets it high. Scott doesn't care. He'll try the run back, and he is really nailed at the 31-yard line. 37-yard punt by Donnie Anderson. So Miami will take over their first offensive possession of the second half. They lead the Cardinals 10-3, and we'll be back after this.
I'm Ara Parsegian, football coach at Notre Dame. If a quarterback could take only one play into the game, it should be an option play. He can run, he can pitch out, or pass. 3 options. Ford gives you its own version of the triple option play on the mid-size 1973 Ford Torino Squire. The 3-way door gate. It opens like a door, fast, even with the window up. It opens with the window down, And it opens like a tailgate. For big loads like 4-foot wide building panels. 3 options. And you find the 3-way door gate on the world's best-selling full-size wagon, the quiet new 1973 Ford Country Squire, along with Ford Motor Company exclusives like dual-facing rear seats. See the new 1973 wagons at your Ford dealers. When it comes to wagons, nobody swings like Ford.
12:47 remaining in the third quarter. Miami taking over the football. They'll move from their own 31-yard line, just short of the 31. The wide receivers, 86 Briscoe, 82 Otto Stowe. This is the veteran, Earl Morrow, All-American 17 years ago at Michigan State. Zonka, 39, one set back. This is Zonka. And he picks up a couple, a very stingy Cardinal defensive unit. And considering that they were 11th in the NFC's East, or rather in the entire National Football Conference against the rush, they've done a pretty good job against the AFC's #1 rushing team. Gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Marv Fleming, the tight end for the Dolphins, number 80. Mercury Morris out of the hands of Don Brown, but Larry Wilson hangs on out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Larry Wilson, part of a secondary that now includes again Roger Worley, number 22, back at safety, was shaken up just before the half. Norm Thompson, the right cornerback, 43, the left cornerback Miller Farr, as they will anticipate the pass from Earl Morrill on a 3rd down and 8. Jim Kick, perhaps a better receiver than Mercury Morris, comes into the Dolphins offensive unit. The 2 wide receivers, Briscoe, 86, Stowe, 82, move out to the left. They're picked up by Wilson and Thompson. Morrow finds Kick. That's why he's in there. Kick, 1st down, up to the 44-yard line.
A cagey little call. Let's watch Kick. He kind of goes in, tries to kind of lose himself there in the middle of the line. Watching that linebacker, you see him. He says, I got to miss this guy. He just barely, that's Arneson, the middle linebacker we were talking about. He gets away from him. Here comes Miller Farr, number 20. Doesn't get away from him, but does pick up a nice gain.
So the Dolphins pick up their initial 1st down of the 2nd half. Again, both wide receivers out to the left, Stowe and Briscoe. Marv Fleming, the tight end, top of your screen. Ball at the 44, and here comes Zonka. 237 pounds, and look at him motor.
Oh. What power.
18-yard gain down to the 37.
Number 66, Little, the guard we've been talking about quite a bit tonight. Watch Zonka follow him. Got a good block on Stallings there.
Did he ever?
Watch him. That's Roger Worley, number 22. He just picked Worley up and kept going. Larry Wilson. He really is a power runner. Here's another shot of it from a different angle. You see him follow that block. Lowered that shoulder just at the right time.
Live action from the 38, 1st and 10. Kick again. Getting just back to the line of scrimmage.
Miami fans are as rabid as any fans we've ever seen anywhere. And down here, they had a column within the past 3 days to the effect that number 43 of Washington, Larry Brown, isn't the greatest. They admit he's a very good back, but they say on a yards gained per try basis, Zonka shows up better than Brown. Now, that's in a Miami thing.
Boy, would I like to have both of
their
them.
opinion. That's the ticket, the 2 of them together.
2nd down and 9. Kick out of the backfield again. Morrow with time to throw. He's going deep for Stowe, wide open. Otto Stowe. And this man has put on some kind of performance tonight.
How did he get it deep?
Well, I think they blew his own back there. Maybe we can see it again, hopefully, because
all right, we got
this is Thompson.
Otto Stowe. He's working on Norm Thompson, number 43.
Got to be the zone. He lets him go. Or either that or he gets caught looking in.
I think he just got caught looking in there, and he turned a little bit slow, and Stowe used that speed of his
He's got a big career. Oddly, was almost cut because of Warfield, and he got racked up with injuries, as I mentioned earlier. But he's a player.
He's caught 4 for 96 in relief of the injured Paul Warfield, who probably could have played tonight, but was being rested. Garo Yepremian adds the extra point. The Dolphins lead the Cardinals 17-3, 9:54 remaining in the third quarter.
Once and for all, which big screen color TV really has the best picture? The answer, Zenith Super Chromacolor. Opinion Research Corporation lined up the 6 leading color TVs with all identification hidden and asked more than 2,000 people from all over America